Fox Sewer Network's underground broadcast, this is your host, Mystery Man, speaking from the damp heart of the Forgotten Tunnels. Welcome, my beloved sewer chatters, you beautiful degenerates huddled in the dark with your headphones and your twisted little smiles. Tonight, the pipes are humming with something special. You're about to hear Bigfoot Assault, a tale straight from the wettest, bloodiest corners of the wild. Dim the lights, crank the volume, and let the screams echo through the sewers. The show begins now. Deep in the ancient Pacific Northwest rainforest, where mist clung to the cedars like a lover who refused to leave, Bigfoot sat alone in his moss-draped cave. He was older now, shoulders heavy with decades of hiding. His massive hands, once used only for climbing and foraging, rested on knees scarred by thorns and time. Memories drifted in like campfire smoke. He remembered being a gangly young Sasquatch, barely taller than the ferns, when his first full-throated roar had sent an entire logging camp fleeing into the night, pants still around their ankles. Fear had been his friend back then. Those screams used to mean power. Villagers dropped lanterns, mothers clutched children, and grown men wept while sprinting for the tree line. Bigfoot had laughed then, a deep belly rumble that shook the branches. He was legend, nightmare, the reason no one camped alone. But the world changed. Smartphones arrived like locusts. Now every hiker carried a glowing rectangle, desperate to capture proof. They didn't run, they chased. They shouted, "Bro, he's right there," while tripods clicked and drones buzzed overhead like angry hornets. Bigfoot was sick of it, sick of selfies, sick of hashtags, sick of the endless parade of puffy-jacketed intruders turning his home into a viral sideshow. He had retreated deeper into the wilderness, but the intruders followed. So he decided it was time to remind them why the old stories existed. No more gentle retreats into the mist. This time he would study them the way they studied him. He watched from the canopy as campers pitched tents, roasted marshmallows, and bragged about the Bigfoot they'd definitely see tonight. Perfect. His first lesson was patience and dirt. Bigfoot spent weeks digging hidden trenches beneath popular campsites, lining the bottoms with sharpened branches and covering the tops with woven moss and leaves. One humid Friday night, a group of 6 college kids set up their brightly colored tents directly over his masterpiece at midnight. While they laughed about conspiracy theories, the ground simply opened. One by one, the earth swallowed them with wet, sucking sounds. Underneath, in the dark, Bigfoot waited with claws extended. The massacre was quick, creative, and deliciously silent. Covered head to toe in thick river mud, Bigfoot became invisible. He looked like just another rotting log until the moment he didn't. A solo backpacker hiking at dusk paused to tie his boot. The log exploded upward, massive arms wrapped around the man's waist. With one practiced yank, Bigfoot tore away the only part the hiker would truly miss. He held the bloody trophies high, juggling them like obscene hacky sacks while the man screamed in high operatic horror. Bigfoot's laughter boomed through the trees, echoing the screams of his youth, but twisted with new, savage joy. He refined his craft. Vines became his favorite weapon. Bigfoot braided them into invisible snares, strung between ancient trunks. A pair of influencers posing for authentic wilderness content stepped into the trap. The vines snapped tight, hoisting them skyward. Bigfoot climbed up behind them, humming an old lullaby his mother once sang. With deliberate care, he used his claws like a sculptor's tools, separating limbs in perfect, symmetrical twists. The bodies spun slowly in the moonlight, turning into grotesque wind chimes that played a wet, dripping melody. Deadfalls were next. He balanced massive logs high in the canopy, held by nothing more than a single clever trigger of bent saplings. A family of 4 settled beneath for a quiet evening. When the father stepped outside to pee, the sky fell. The log crushed him flat, then rolled forward on Bigfoot's cue, snapping necks and spines like dry kindling. Bigfoot emerged from the ferns, grabbed the surviving mother by the ankles, and used her as a living club to finish the children. He whistled while he worked, a happy tune from his childhood. Treetop ambushes became his signature. Bigfoot would perch for hours, motionless as an owl, until a lone hiker passed below. Then he dropped like doom, landing on shoulders with bone-crushing force, one hand clamped over the mouth. The other performed what he called the zipper, a single claw dragged from throat to groin, opening the man like a tent flap. He would scoop out the warm insides and arrange them into a smiling face on the forest floor, a little calling card for the next group. He even invented the Bigfoot special. Covering himself in fresh deer guts for scent camouflage, he would mimic a wounded animal's cry. Curious hunters came running with rifles and GoPros. Bigfoot waited until they were close enough to smell the lie, then rose up and relieved them of their rifles, their cameras, and with theatrical flair, their ability to ever film again. The juggling act became legendary among the few survivors who limped out babbling. Bigfoot's reign of inventive terror spread. Campers began finding their friends rearranged into macabre dioramas, arms linked in a conga line, heads used as bowling pins. The woods grew quieter, fewer influencers posted Bigfoot Hunt 2026. The old fear returned, richer and bloodier than before, and in his cave the great beast finally slept soundly, dreaming of childhood roars mixed with the wet sounds of modern justice. The moral of tonight's tale, my dear sewer chatters, is simple. Some legends deserve their privacy. Invade the shadows with cameras and curiosity, and the shadows will answer back with claws, traps, and a very dark sense of humor. Respect the unknown, or become its newest plaything. That's it for Bigfoot assholes. Sleep tight, sewer chatters. This has been Mystery Man signing off from the Dark Sewer Network. Thank you, as always, to our fearless producer, Nick the Rat, for keeping the feed alive in these dripping tunnels. Good night, you beautiful freaks. Stay twisted.